Welcome to your astrology and spirituality overview for Sunday the 27th of September. Today we're going to use the Archangel Gabriel Oracle cards, which we had such fun with last week, to see what comes up for us on this Sunday. I like working with the angelic angels, especially on a Sunday. Just feel they resonate with that day.
Someone did put on the comments, angels, question mark.
Yeah.
What was your take? How did that make you feel?
I've got that a lot over the years. I think a lot of it is to do with the media and how angels are perceived as sort of a fairy tale creature, basically. But for me, and for people through eons of time, angels are so much more than that. I've just been reading up on King Solomon and the way that he worked with angels, and I mean the stuff that he came up with is very it's quite amazing, really. So if you want to learn more about King Solomon, then the Kabbalah is a good place to start there. But he commanded angels through a ring that he wore, and this is very, very ancient stuff. And so yeah, I kind of get why people think it's a little bit left field, but at the same time, I think on our spiritual journey there comes a point where we do encounter this the angels, basically. There comes a point in all of our lives where that will come into our life in some way, whether we're introduced to it through somebody else or we discover it for ourselves.
That's so profound. There's a British surgeon who, I think he had a heart attack, and this gentleman passed over, essentially, and I think he formally died for about 30 minutes, but he was brought back. And he was an absolute total cynic about all this kind of stuff.
Oh, I remember reading it.
And I think he wrote a book.
He's written a book,
I think he was a cardiologist, and he survived it, and he was talking about what it was like, the peacefulness, the white light, all the people were there that he'd loved, welcoming him over. And so we do live in a world where it's very polarised, isn't it? You've only got to see all the different views over COVID that are so starkly in opposition. People see things so very differently. And so you will get some people who will disparage things very, very quickly without necessarily investigating them. I've got to be honest, before I met Elisa, cheese moment coming, I'd never met an angel. But you've taught me so much, because I'm probably... I know I have some psychic friends who I think the world of, who think I am a little bit earthy, put it that way.
Yeah, you're more sort of... You're very logical, you're very mathematical, you like facts, and you like working with... Fact! You like working with things that you can measure and see. And I totally respect and love that. But then there are things in our lives that sometimes are unexplainable, that we don't quite understand.
Like your magic.
Well, indeed. So...
And her modesty as well.
So let's have a look on that note, what message Gabriel has for us today. Especially to the people perhaps who don't quite get angelic energy. Let's see what he says here. Speeches and speaking is the word that comes up. Words that come up. It says, you have an important message to deliver that can help others. Angels and messages, that is their whole purpose of being created, basically. What message do we have inside us to share? Is it something that's happened in our life experience? Is it something that we have uncovered? We have a voice to share those ideas. So whether we do this in the form of a blog post, or a comment on social media, or a journal, or just speaking to our friends, or going to a protest, or writing into a radio station, using that ability, using that voice to spread some kind of awareness or message to something that's important for you today.
Oh, that's fabulous. And interestingly, the planet of communication, Mercury, moves into the sign of Scorpio. Scorpio is the 8th zodiac sign. Of course, it's water, and it's also fixed in its quality, which means it likes a degree of continuity, and so big changes tend to come along for Scorpio people, but there tends to be periods of longevity and steadiness. Mercury here is kind of taking the energy from Mercury in Libra, which is a lot about conversation, but I think what Mercury in Scorpio is saying, well, that's what you've told me, but what did you really mean? It's much more profound, it's much deeper, and maybe it's a time when we can think about things like in a pragmatic way, our longer term resources, pensions, investments, savings, property, real estate. That's very Scorpionic. A lot of bankers, believe it or not, insurance brokers will be Scorpio people. But it also has that other dimension, the more spiritual dimension, which is understanding transitions in our life, which can, of course, mean ends, but also beginnings. So this is the sector of the horoscope that's to do with the phoenix, really. It can be a big transition. So our thinking could be transformed, but I think we're trying to understand thoughts and our ideas at a deeper, more profound level. I'm not saying that the energy in Libra isn't wonderful, because it is, because that's all about trying to find that equilibrium, that fairness, that justice. But now it dives deep. So Mercury dives deep. And of course it will be going into a retrograde soon in this sign as well. So it's actually already going into shadow. It's already in shadow, and it's not going to emerge from shadow back into the sign of Scorpio until the 19th of November. So we're going to go for a very long period of deep thinking, I think, as a collective between us all.
That's really profound. I do love it when you go into your American accent.
Well, I like it. Come on, you've got to do Anna of Louisiana.
Oh, Anna from Louisiana talks like this, and I'm really sorry if I'm offending anybody there.
But the thing is, have you been making any moonshine recently?
No moonshine today, but Kelly from the Valley might do. We'll see.
So it's been a real pleasure being with you. If you'd like to check out your free daily horoscope, please see that below, or Elisa's 3-card tarot. But for now, from the A-Team, it is...
Goodbye from him.
And it's goodbye from her. Goodbye.